Alright guys, I figured to do a update on my LS Swap Dodge Ram 1500. I just updated, or just put a video up about a month ago about it, and I've been driving this truck for a little while, but it's been down for about a week or two now. The clutch packs on 3 and 4 are burnt out, which when I did this swap I bought I bought a donor truck, which was a 01 GMC Sierra 1500. Bought it for like 800 bucks, wrecked. Truck sat for 3 years, so I'm guessing that's why 3rd and 4th gear clutch packs went out in transmission. I just got it back. On my first video I did not mention that I'm running a stall converter. This is a FTI. It's a 3000 stall converter with a lockup. I am running the stock gears in this truck. They're 392s. I thought about going up to 456s. In my other video I kind of explained what I did to this motor, but if you didn't see it, I am running the Comps Extreme Energy Cam 595, 598 lift, 232, 234 duration with 112 degree lobe separation, harder push rods, dual valve springs, double roller timing chain, and I do have a tune in this, of course, because you have to do it anyway, especially if you do an LS swap, because you got the VATs, you gotta get rid of that, then you're downstream O2 sensors, delete them, delete your EGR and all that other crap that you don't necessarily need. Well, in my area I don't need admissions, so other states I guess you do. That kind of sucks for them. But yeah, this is my swap. I am planning on doing a turbo. In my other video, my first video, I was running a mechanical fan, but I ended up putting dual fans in here out of Chrysler that I got out of junkyard for like free. They are on relays, which is hooked up to the ECM. But I am planning on getting standalone, or doing a standalone system for the wiring harness, because I got this big loom right here and it fucking just god ugly, especially with this big. I'm running the factory fuse block. I want to get rid of that too, because I don't know if I want to do a single turbo setup, which would be make tons of room right here, you know, but or do a twin turbo setup. If I do a twin turbo, of course I gotta get rid of this, because this would be right in the way of everything. So I haven't made my decision yet if I want to go twin or single. I think twin would be really cool, but a single would be a little easier and cheaper, I think. Well, I didn't really explain a whole lot on this. I am running the Chevy's upper and lower radiator hoses. I am running the Dodge's radiator, tranny cooler, power steering cooler. From like right about here to the front, it's the Dodge's tranny lines, because they're quick connect ends, and then from here to the back is the Chevy's tranny lines. I am running the Dodge's motor mounts. The holes were just slightly off. I had to drill them out a little bit bigger to get them to fit right, because they were just slightly off. I mean, not a whole lot, just a hair. How I have this wired up is this. This wire goes to the Dodge's fuse block, and then this wire goes to the Chevy's fuse block, which wires it up. From here, I have a crank. I had to find the crank wire, which I've routed up and over to the starter, and the ignition wire ran from here up and over to the Chevy's fuse block, and then to the ignition wire. The tranny solenoids need to be hooked up to that with a 5 amp fuse, and then from the Chevy's fuse block, the fuel pump wires ran up and over down inside here. I just spliced it into here. I am running the Dodge's fuel pump. I read over the internet, people were telling me that Dodge's fuel pumps only put out 45 to 55 pounds of pressure. Well, I found out otherwise. Either them people were checking their fuel pumps when they were weak or what, because when I checked my fuel system, my fuel pressure, I was running 61. Now a Chevy only needs 58, but I'm running 61. This motor did have a return line. Luckily for me, I had a buddy that had a fuel rail that was just a feeder, so I didn't have a return, because the Dodge's fuel pump just has a feeder, and the fuel regulator is in the ascending unit. I am running a 3/8 steel braided line, just straight up from the fuel pump straight up to the front. I got to reroute this. I just hooked it up, get it going, get it running. I need to get it rerouted and tucked up in there. I don't like this hanging here, you know, it's kind of not really too smart, but it's not like I'm going to go off-roading or have it hang up on something. But I did drive the truck for quite a while until the clutch packs went out. Not a big deal. Tranny, cross member, drilled these out, made them a little longer. Had to cut them out a little longer. I should say not drill them out, cut them out. Sorry, garage is a mess. I just got the tranny back, and I've been sitting and waiting on it for quite a while. This is the tranny mount, which these drop right into the cross member. And then I made this piece. It's just a a 1/4 inch thick piece of steel. I bolt these two top holes up to the transmission, and then this bolts right up to here, so it moves the tranny mount back 2 inches. I only need 1 inch, but I moved it back 2 inches. Right in this area that I cut out, a transfer case bolt sits. So that's how I got the motor and transmission in. It was quick and simple and easy. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. I probably spent maybe half a day, and I had the motor in. I mean, that's about as long as anybody else would take to drop a motor in a Camaro, because it's such a tight fit. But obviously there's tons of space in here, and you can pull the whole front end apart on these Dodges, and this makes this whole area from, I mean, you could, this cross member right here, you could take this out, take all your radiator and all the other crap out, and it pretty much just opens up this whole area. It makes it really easy to get in there, which is pretty nice. And how Dodge's motor mounts are, how they designed them is pretty nice though too, because there's two bolts. There's a top one and a bottom one. The bottom one is solid through. The top one is like a hook, so when you drop the motor in, you just put your bolt through the motor mount, and then that hook up, or through the chassis mount part, and then the motor mount actually has a hook, and it just hooks right into those bolts. So, and then you just slide your bottom bolt through, and it's pretty much, and then you tighten them both up, and you're pretty much good. I wonder if I can get underneath here and give you a better idea what I'm talking about. There we go. That is the Dodge's motor mount. That's the top one. Bottom one. Bottom one's obviously solid. This one's like a hook. And it hooks right in when you drop it in. It's pretty nice. Obviously there's a ton of room in here. There's the other Dodge's motor mount. And then, as you can see, there's space. Space all around. I got this block because obviously the tranny ain't in, so I just wanted support for the motor. Let me drop this thing out of here. Oh, let's see if I can try crawling out of here. Yeah. It was pretty simple. It just needed the GMC came with a electronic transfer case, so I had to get a manual transfer case. It's not a big deal. I just had to cut the Dodge's drive shaft down 2 inches, and it pretty much popped right in. Same thing with the front one. Just cut it down, get it rebalanced, whatever else. Gauges. Factory gauges in the Dodge will not work, so you're pretty much screwed on that one. So right now I'm using GPS. I got a tack up over there, and then I got a gauge pod right there. don't want to move it because I got some wires hooked up and I don't really want to move it. If I can get up here and kind of see. See, I got my water temp at the top, oil pressure for the middle, fuel level for the bottom. Those are the important gauges. That's all you freaking need, pretty much. And if you want a speedometer, of course, I just use a GPS. But I do plan on mounting something in here. You cannot take the gauge cluster out, because the gauge cluster, if you unplug it, your hazards and a bunch of other crap start going off all crazy. So you kind of got to leave it. But I was driving this. I was just using the OBD2 scanner with live data that was telling me my temperature. I wasn't really worried about oil pressure, because if I was worried about oil pressure, it would have knocked. But the motor is perfectly sound, besides the really aggressive cam that's in it. But I mean, it sounds great. Dead cold winter right now, and if I fire it up, it doesn't chatter or nothing, doesn't make a sound. I mean, it's just nice and smooth and quiet. So I'm pretty happy with how the motor turned out, especially with them Trunion bearing upgrades in the rockers. Those made a hell of a difference on valve train loudness. You know, usually a stock 5.3, sometimes their valves chatter on the first startup of the day. But since I did the Trunions, I mean, it's really quiet, but I had to change them out anyway because of my massive cam. Because the factory rocker bearings, they can only pivot so far. Put a big cam in it, you'll snap the studs right off. Rocker falls out, you're screwed. Well, I'd say that's about it for right now. I'm gonna try getting the transmission in, get transfer case in, get her running, try getting a nice day and try putting up another video of it. I figured just to do a quick video of, give you an idea, you know, how I got this to work. I mean, it looks really nice in there. It's like it fits in there. I have had a lot of people get on my case, but like, why didn't you do a 5.7 or a 5.9? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not spending $5 grand for a 5.9 or a 5.7 Hemi that are junk. Sorry to Mopar guys, but Hemi motors and 5.9 motors are junk. I am impressed with the Hellcat motors, but I am still questioning how good are they. Horsepower wise are good, but long lasting, how good are they? They haven't been around long enough to really know. These Chevy LS motors have been around long enough. Well, this is not really an LS, this is an LM7. It's the cast iron block with aluminum heads. I can't really remember what heads I'm running. Try to find the stamp on here. I am running the 862s. There are a set of heads that are like the 707s or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was told some about 70-somethings. They're not very good heads. Apparently I have really good heads, especially for doing turbo build. So I've been told to just leave these alone. Maybe port them, maybe polish them, or just leave them, just throw a turbo on. But that's just, it seems what everybody's doing is just throwing turbos to these 5.3s and then pumping 600-700 horses, which is pretty impressive to me. So yeah, this is my 04 Dodge Ram 1500 that's LS swapped. Leave a comment and just let me know how you think about it. If you have any questions, just comment on the bottom and I will try answering as best as I can. All I can say is this is super simple. I mean, I spent 6 months on this project, but if I didn't wait to save up on all these performance parts and stuff like that, I probably would have done this whole project within a week. Just like if you're gonna do a 350 in a Camaro or Chevelle or another truck or anything like that, I mean, it wouldn't have took very long. It was just, the wiring harness was pretty simple. I mean, this stuff was mounted on the driver's side of a Chevy, you know, I just had to bring it over on this side, so I had to stretch out flip-flop wires. I had to cut wires short on this side and then stretch them out for that side. It was pretty simple. I mean, everything, you just go to lt1swap.com and it pretty much gives you every pinout of everything you need on these motors, which is really, really helpful. So, yeah, like I said, just comment and just let me know if you have any questions and whatnot. I'll do another update video once I get the transmission in, or during I put the transmission in, I don't know. So we'll talk to you later, guys.